Welcome back to the online sessions on micro 8051 microcontrol embedded systems, and we are discussing with register set of 8051 microcontrollers. So in order to write program using 8051 microcontroller, we have to compulsorily know the various registers used in the programming. So this is the difference between a high level programming language and assembly level programming language. So 805A is going to be something like assembly level programming language, and we can do it as well by using embedded C language. So even though you use embedded C language, you should know some portion, some part of the registers which are normally going to be there. But whatever we have in the syllabus, we have in the syllabus assembly language code. Uh, that means directly by using the mnemonics and all. We don't have this embedded C in the theoretical part. So therefore, we should understand the basic registers which are used in the embedded systems. So in the last session, we have started with this register set of 8051 microcontroller. So there are going to be some special function registers, SFR, or the special purpose registers. Around 21 are going to be the special purpose registers. Now the addresses from ATH to FFH of all the special function registers. So these special function registers, contents of the special function registers are normally going to taken from the address locations ATH to FFH. So they can be used as these register contents. That means these addresses can be used as the contents of these addresses can be used as the special function registers. So apart from these special function registers, we'll be having two 8-bit registers called A and B to store the various operands. A is nothing but accumulator, B is going to be the temporary register. So the registers, accessible registers are going to be something like A, B, PSW. So all these registers we can access by using by bit by bit. So therefore, we can simply call them as bit addressable registers. So all these bit addressable registers can be 8-bit. Okay, so usually we're going to have TCON registers, SCON registers. Okay, so the registers are going to be A, B, PSW, P0 to P3, port 0 to port 3, program status word register, IP, IE registers, TCON register, timer control registers, serial communication control registers. So all these are the bit addressable registers. We can access them bit by bit. So therefore, you should know compulsorily the internal structure of these registers, because we will be accessing them by using bit by bit. And other registers which we can use going to be the stack pointer register, data pointer higher order, data pointer lower order, T mode register, timer mode register, and a TH0, TL1, that means timer higher order, timer 0 higher order, timer 0 lower order. So this is the the representation of timers. So this is timer 0 higher order bits, timer 0 lower order bits, timer 1 higher order bits, timer 1 lower order bits, and S buffer. So serial buffer register is known as a temporary register normally used to perform the serial communication from the 8051 microcontroller. So you can transmit 1 bit of information, you can receive 1 bit of information via this serial buffer register. Then PCON register, power control registers. So once again, all these can be addressed by byte. So DPTR is basically used as a data pointer register. It can be used to access the external memory, and this register can be accessed 8 bit by 8 bit. So that means in 8 bit you can store some address, in the next 8 bits you can store some other address. That means we normally divide the 16 bit into lower order bytes and higher order bytes. So lower order means what? We divide 16-bit register by 2. That means you can access 8 bit independently. Okay, and you can use them combinedly also as a DPTR register. So these are the various special function registers which we'll be using here to access the external memories. Next, starting 32 bytes of RAM. Now, apart from this, we have general purpose registers divided into 4 banks. that has banks of 8 registers each, that is R0 to R7, is going to be reside in one bank. So bank 2 once again R0 to R7, bank 3 R0 to R7, bank 4, bank 3 R0 to R7. Like that, we normally going to have bank 0 to bank 3. So put together, you're going to have 4 bank registers. 4 into 8 is going to be 32. So therefore, you normally going to have 32 bytes of RAM allocated for the general purpose registers. That means the programmer can access or use them as a general purpose registers. 32 general purpose registers he can use. So only one of these bank registers at one time. But how we normally use? Say for example, if the programmer is going to use a bank 1 R2 register, so he'll be using at a time only that register. Parallelly, he cannot use some other register. So if he has to use some other register means what? He has to use only that appropriate register. So but parallelly, more than one register in this bank is not going to be used by the microcontroller. That is what one of the little drawback here in the case of 8051. So next, how do we access these registers? How do we access these banks? So we have 4 banks. 4 banks means what? We need 2 bits. 2 power 2 is equal to 4. So therefore, we need 2 bits to address these banks. So that we can normally use by using the register selector bits in the general purpose memory area. So RS1, RS0 are normally used to access these banks. So of PSWR register, program status word register. So in this program status word register, we are going to have RS0, RS1 pins. So they are used to select the register bank for us. Then other registers, uh, other special function registers, we usually going to be the timer 0 higher order, timer 0 lower order, timer 1 higher order, timer 1 lower order bits. If we combine timer lower order higher order bits, we normally going to get 16-bit timer registers. And we are going to have port P0 to P3 port latches. Using them, we normally going to access the external devices connected to the microcontroller. Then we're going to have the special function register, program status word, interrupt priority register, interrupt enable register. So these registers are also somewhat used or handled whenever we're going to handle the interrupt signals. The next register is going to be the TCON register, called as timer control register. Timer control register. So this timer control register is normally is nothing but a register to turn on and off the appropriate timers. To turn on and to turn off the timers, we will be using normally these timers, these timer control registers. So it contains interrupt control flags for external interrupts like INT1, INT2. So these two are the external interrupts. That means if at all any external device need the help from the microcontroller 8051, then it is simply going to use these two signals called INT1, INT0, which can be controlled by the interrupt control flags. The next register is going to be T mode register, which is normally going to be timer mode register. So it is normally used to operate the modes of the timer and a counter. So timer and a counter is normally going to get operated in various modes. Mode 0 to mode 3 we can operate. Okay. So it is normally used to operate the timer in various modes. Then another register is important register is going to be the serial port mode control register. That means serial communication control register. This is called as serial communication control register, called as SCON register. The next one is going to be the S buffer. It is normally used for serial communication buffer register, known as serial data buffer for transmit and receiving signals to and from the microcontroller. So that means in order to transmit some bits, in order to receive some bits, we normally going to use this particular, we'll be using this particular S buffer register. So it is known as a buffer register, used as a temporary register, temporary buffer register to support the serial communication. The next one is going to be power control register called as peak on register. P stands for power in general. So power control register, power down bit, ideal bit. So we can control the power allocated to the various bits to various elements in the microcontroller. So these are the registers, and these are the register banks we have discussed just now. That we normally going to have the 8-bit registers, general purpose registers starting from R0 to R1, and this R0 to R1 is going to come in terms of the banks. In bank 0, you're going to have R0 to R7. In bank 1, you're going to have R0 to R7. Like that, up to bank 3, you're going to have R0 to R7. So put together, you're normally going to have 4 banks of register, 4 banks of general purpose registers. Each bank contains 8 register representations. Okay, so the next one is going to be the temporary registers, normally accumulator and B register, DPTR, program counter registers. These two registers are normally used to hold the address of the external devices or memory devices. And program status word is normally used to control the programming that we do using the 8051 microcontroller. Stack pointer register is normally used as a special function register used to control the stack related operations. So let us, in exam, we will be getting a 2 marks question about uh, write or describe the features of 8051. So you should tell about the internal memory locations of 8051. So that means what? 8051 is an 8-bit 8-bit microcontroller is one of the feature. 8051 is an 8-bit microcontroller. 8051 has got internal ROM, which is going to have 4 kilobytes of ROM and 128 bytes of RAM. RAM is very, very small in the case of 8051 microcontroller. So the memory in the RAM area is being used to store the data, temporarily when the program is being executed, whereas the program code is normally burned into the ROM area. Then it has got how many pins it has got? It has got 32 IO pins, because every port is normally going to have 8 bits. We're going to have 4 ports. So therefore 4 into 8 is going to be 32 bits. So we have 4 ports, P0 to P3, total occupying of 32 bits. And it has got two 16-bit timers and counter registers called as T0 and T1. So the same T0 as well as T1 can be used both as a timer as well as a counter. It supports full duplex serial data communication using SBUF register. So it supports full duplex data communication using the serial buff register. So it has got various control registers known as TCON, TMOD, SCON, PCON, IP and IE, 2 external and 3 internal interrupt sources. Now, how many total interrupts that 8051 supports? It supports 2 external interrupts called INT0, INT1, and 3 internal interrupt sources. And it has got oscillator and clock circuits embedded inside the microcontroller. And PCON register is normally going to have PCON register is normally going to operate in ideal mode. Okay, it can be terminated with the INT or reset pins. Ideal mode is nothing but oscillator, serial port, interrupt, timer blocks are active, but clock disabled. So that means here these serial port, interrupt, timer blocks can be disabled by using the PCON registers, and oscillator also can be disabled by using the PCON register. It can be terminated with INT and reset register. So power down mode on chip oscillator is going to get stopped by using this PCON register. So we supports the hardware reset also. 2 general purpose flags and a double baud bit is normally used. So here this PCON register is normally going to use 2 general purpose flags. So this is what various modes. These are the various modes of timers: mode 0, mode 1, mode 2, mode 3 of the timers. Okay. Now what is important here is in these timers, you should know these bit configurations here. So for mode 0 timer clock, whether it is going to be a timer 1 or timer 2, if it is using in a mode 0 configuration, mode 0 mode configuration, then higher order 8 bits are used. It is divided into higher order 8 bits and 5 bits of lower order 8 bits for mode 0 applications. For mode 1 applications, 8 bits have been used. And for mode 2, what happens is reloading is being done here. That means only 8 bits have been used for the timer applications. And for mode 3, timer 0, lower order timer 0 bits are used for timer, and higher order timer bits are used for oscillator applications. Okay, that means the baud rates, we can use it for the baud rates. That means why we normally use baud rates in communications. Whenever we want to transmit any data from a microcontroller, receive any data into the microcontroller, we have to transmit and receive using the baud rates. Baud rates in short can be called as a something like bits per second. We always transmit and receive the information in terms of bits per second or symbols per second. In general, baud rate is nothing but symbols per second. So how many symbols we normally going to receive per second is what called the baud rate. So inside symbols, what you're going to have once again bits. So it's all going to be like baud rate. So in general, we represent bits per second. Now some more information we get into here, which contains the contents of these registers. So, and whether it is bit addressable or not bit addressable registers, and the address locations of these registers. So all these are simply predefined in the microcontroller instruction set. So after resetting the microcontroller, what is going to be the contents of these registers? So accumulator, ACC is nothing but accumulator. Once you reset the accumulator, once you reset the microcontroller, after resetting, it contains all zeros. And register B also contains all zeros. PSWR, program status word registers, also contain all the zeros. And next one is going to be the stack pointer register. That means the stack pointer register is going to have 07F contents. That means the stack pointer is going to start after 07. So up to 07 is the initial value of the stack pointer register. Then the data pointer is going to be 0 again. P0, P1, P2, P3. So all these registers are normally going to have all ones initially. All ones means what? Nothing is there in the port registers P0 to P3. Okay. Similarly, you're going to have the interrupt registers, interrupt enable register, interrupt priority registers. So which is normally going to have all zeros, but last MSB bits, 3 MSB bits, normally going to be uh, unknown. That means it's something like don't care conditions. So more or less, it is also going to be zeros. TG is also going to be all zeros. And the TMOD register, TCON register, TH0, TL0, TH1, TL0 are all going to be zeros initially. And SCON register, serial communication register, is also going to be 0. S buffer, what is that which is going to be in S buffer? Yeah, intermediate data. S buffer is not simply going to become 0 once you reset. Whatever the data which is there previously, that will be there in the S buffer register. That means whenever we're going to use S buffer register, we have to clear the register before we normally use that particular register. Okay. The next is a next register is going to be the PCON register. PCON register is going to have all don't care conditions. Okay. So, but most importantly, whenever we use the register, better you put the values as initial values, then you start. Then it is always a better condition to do the programming, right? Then next, which registers are addressable, bit addressable registers? So accumulator is bit addressable. Yes. Register B is bit addressable. PSWR is bit addressable. Okay. Then stack pointer, data pointer registers are not bit addressable. So, and next one is going to be the P0 to P3. All these four are bit addressable registers. And IPIE is also going to be bit addressable registers. TMOD register is not bit addressable. You have to access 4 bits. You have to access them by 4 bits wise. So single bit we cannot access in the TMOD register. So single bit we cannot access. Therefore, TCON is not, sorry, TMOD is not bit addressable. So TCON is bit addressable. TH0, TL0 are not bit addressable because all 8 bits you have to use immediately simultaneously. So similarly, all these timers are not bit addressable. SCON register, yes, we can access individual bits. S buffer is not bit addressable. You have to access all 8 bits. PCON also you have to access all 8 bits. So this is how the utilization of the various bits in the registers, special function registers. Then next contents is going to be, let us start looking into the contents of the various registers that we have. Okay. So the most important register whenever we're going to whenever we need extra memory in the program to store the temporary data, we're going to use the definitely program status word. So this program status word is 8-bit D0 to D7 8-bit register, and we start with the parity bit. 1 bit we left it for future use. OV is nothing but overflow flag bit. RS0, RS1, just now we discussed. It is normally used to speak about the general purpose registers. So that means if it is 00, it is bank 0. If it is 01, bank 1. 10, if it is 10, it is bank 2. 11, bank 3. So like this, we normally going to use various banks of registers. So what is bank 0 means what? Something like 00 to 7H auto locations are used for bank 0. If it is bank 1, the memory locations are going to be, next location is going to be 08. After 7, we'll be having 8. In hexadecimal, we'll be having 0 to 9, then 8 to F. So therefore, 08 to 0FH. Then after F, you're going to have 10 to 17H. Then like that, we're going to have the memory banks, memory address locations assigned in sequence. Okay, from bottom to top. So therefore, the RS1 and RS0 are used to select the register banks. See, the problem with these registers is that you cannot change the place of these various flags. Say parity flag should be at D0 only. Parity flag should not be considered in either one of these bit locations other than D0. If you really do it, then it is not going to be the PSWR register of the 8051 microcontroller. This is the problem with the assembly language. So assembly language programming. So D5 bit is going to be F0 bit. F0 is going to be called as flag 0 bit. So it is normally available to the user for general purpose usage. The next, auxiliary carry flag. So you know what is auxiliary carry flag. So whenever there is a whenever there is a overflow of bit taken place or carry get generated when the bits are going from 4 to 5, fourth bit to fifth bit, then this particular auxiliary carry is normally going to get generated. Carry is for the overall carry generated after the 8-bit operation is called the carry flag. So like this, these are all the various registers which we use. So if we are using the register banks, you have to compulsorily use this PSWR register. If you need the contents of parity flag or overflow flag or carry flag, auxiliary flag, then also you have to use this particular PSW register in the programming of 8051 microcontroller. Okay. The next register is going to be called as TMOD register, which is a very important register if at all you are going to use the timers. So whenever you're going to use the timers, you have to use this particular register called TMOD register. So without which you cannot use the timers. So using this register, we normally going to set the mode of the timer. So every timer is going to operate in 4 modes. Just now we discussed timer mode 0 to mode 3. So like that, we normally going to have the timer registers. And this timer register is of 8 bits, D0 to D7. And this is divided into two, 4 bits each. One is for timer 0, another 4 bits is for timer 1 applications. Okay. So the first bits, that means these 4 bits are simply been repeated here in the higher order bits. One is for timer 0, same number of bits are repeated for timer 1 also. That means M0, M1, C by C slash T bar gates. These 4 contents of registers are simply been replaced here in the case of the timer 1. So this is what, that means if you know this M mode 0, mode 1 bits, timer counter or timer, see, this is what which is going to select the timer mode to decide about the mode of the timer. So if at all you wanted to use in 0 mode, this M0, M1 should be 00. That is called mode 0 operation. If at all you want to use the timer in the mode 1, you're going to put 01. This is called mode 1. Similarly, 10 mode 2, 11 mode 3. So like that, we can use the timer in 4 different modes. And C by T bar is to select timer or counter operations. So timer or counter selector is normally used, is cleared for timer operation. So if T bar is, that means if C by T bar is 0, it is for timer application. If C by T bar is equal to 1, it is going to be called as for counter applications. That is what the meaning of this bit, obviously, as we know. The next is going to be the gate signal or gate bit. So this gate bit is normally used when that now in the TCON register, we're going to use the timer run bit here. So when timer run bit is set and gate is equal to 1, then timer will run only while interrupt pin is high. So this is the control bit, actually, control bit of timer operation bit. So when gate is 1 and the timer run is 1, if these two are equal to 1, now that means automatically internally it is hard coded. That's what I'm talking to you, that most of the time the microcontroller is going to be hard coded. So we need not bother about that internal hard coded programming of the 8051 microcontroller. We should know how it is really operating. That's enough for us. So when timer run is set, which is equal to 1, and gate is also equal to 1, then this timer or a counter, whatever you're using, will run only while interrupt pin is high, which is the hardware interrupt pin is high. When this gate is 0, then timer and counter will run only while the TRX1 is 1, which is software control. That means it is normally used to control the interrupts using the hardware or hardware control or software control timers. Okay, so this is what the registers which we are going to use to control the interrupts with timers. So these are all the various bits which we normally use in the T mode registers. Now one should be careful about these modes also. If it is mode 0, it is used as a 13-bit timer. 8 bit for higher order, 8 bit from higher order, and 5 bits from the lower order. So that is how the 8 bits, just now we discussed now. See, 8 bits from higher order is used and 5 bits from lower order is used for mode 0 applications. For mode 0 applications. So therefore, we can call 8 plus 5 is going to be 13. Okay, so we can call this as a 13-bit timer. Next, if it is operating in mode 1, then it works like a 16-bit timer or counter. All 8 bits and 8 bits are used. Lower order 8 bits, higher order 8 bits are used for only timer application, timer operation. Therefore, if at all you wanted to have a 16-bit timer or a 16-bit counter, you have to use that in the mode 1 operation. Then mode 2. in mode to 8-bit auto reload and timer and counter. Only 8 bits have been used for timer and counter applications. And these 8 bits are simply, that means 8 bits are going to be used as a reinitializing bits. So for example, you want to perform an operation, say 5 times. And this 5 is stored in 8 bits. This is what we have discussed here. Reloading is normally going to be done. That means 8 bits are stored in the higher order bits. Say 5 is stored in the higher order timer bits. Say 5 is stored in higher order timer bits. And at the initiation of the operation, this 5 is initialized in the lower order bits. And there will be a decrement counter, and this 5 will be decremented after every execution of the timer operations. The timer is simply going to get reduced by 1. That means that timer application is going to get executed for 5 times. After that, what happens? This lower order timer bits are going to become 0. If at all you want to re-execute the same timer operations, then we have to once again reload this particular higher order 8 bits of timer into the lower order 8 bits to reinitiate the timer operations. But the problem here is that only 8 bits can be used here for timer and counter applications. 8 bit means what? How many? If you take this as a unsigned 8 bits, that means something like 2 power 8, so around 256. The value is simply going to get reduced. That means what the value you stored in the counter is normally going to be appropriate to the 8 bits only. That is what the thing which we will be having. Then last mode is going to be the mode 3 mode 3. So timer 0, TL0 is an 8-bit timer counter controlled by standard timer 0 control bits. Higher order timer 0 is an 8-bit timer and controlled by timer 1 control bits. So these are all the, so this is what that means. Both the timers, lower order and higher order, timer 0 or timer 1, can be controlled when it is controlled by other timers. That means if TL0 is controlled by timer 0, and if TH0 is controlled by timer 1 control bits, then we normally use this particular mode of operations. So these are the various timing applications that we'll be having in the TMOD registers. Okay, so with this, we'll stop our session today, and next session we'll continue with the other registers. Thank you very much for today's session.